has just the exact amount of notes as is required. Neither more nor less.
You're live.
Except I think that's all gonna go on.
Hi.
Hi, Internet. Welcome. We're the Knights of the Drunk Watch, and we are here discussing episode 7 of House of the Dragon, Driftmark.
Driftmark.
And
Pfeiffer's been so well behaved till this
I'm
moment.
Audie.
I'm Boone.
I'm Travis.
That's
I'm Mark. I'm Andrew.
Hey,
She's
Nope.
going to bed.
Go to bed.
And we're Knights of the Drunk Watch.
And now our talk
talk
begins.
begins.
Nailed it. We're doing really good tonight.
We're doing great.
Guys,
Kate,
some of us,
wish you were here.
Yeah, some of us are missing because we're just tired. Also, some of us are also tired, so we'll see how the energy goes tonight.
It was my birthday yesterday, so everyone went and celebrated
Happy
my birthday. Yes, I'm another year older. Congratulations.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That was a crazy freaking episode.
Oh, I was about to say birthday. I was like, yeah, man, what are you doing there?
All
There
right,
was that
so
too.
I'll say that obviously the biggest thing that was going around on the internet was the lighting.
Oh my god.
People were talking about that lighting, so
Well,
let's get that
it was,
out of the way
okay.
first.
It was
So see, I mean, the Game of Thrones people, they kind of screw themselves over back in season 8 of Game of Thrones when they were doing the long night. They specifically said, well, we don't want it to look like a Hollywood lit show, so we are going to do natural lighting. It's like, okay, well, that made sense in an episode called The Long Night that took place at night. But this episode did not necessarily need to take place at night. And more so, it did not look like it was filmed at night. It was that obvious. It was filmed during the daytime, and then they digitally degraded it to make it look like night.
Well,
Now
of course, I mean, shooting day for night is a long established Hollywood tradition.
But it
But
was
it was
too
not done
obviously the day for night filming. And also, if you're trying to do it for a mood thing because Rhaenyra and Daemon, they were having a romantic scene together, why not film that at sunset? Like, imagine you filmed that at dusk. It would have been more romantic looking. It would have been beautiful lighting.
I will say the response was mixed because different people's TVs seem to perform differently. A lot of people on the internet were talking about how, like, oh, mine looked just fine. We even had some commenters in our comments say, oh, well, we were fine. You know, we didn't have any issues with our TV. We could see it just fine. So it may also have to do with, like, people's settings and things like that.
Well, also, when I did the rewatch, so I rewatched it last night, and actually, I turned off all of the lights in the house. So I was sitting here in the living room watching it in the dark, which was okay, but it was like if you had on even like a single lamp or something, then it was still just weird. You could hardly see anything.
I mean, I didn't feel like I had any problem seeing anything.
Yeah.
But everything just had like this gray wash.
indigo,
Like they put a
yeah, it was
filter over it, and it was just gray. It was flat. It didn't have any dimension.
It was weird for the Daemon and Rhaenyra scenes. But, I mean, yes, but it was okay when you switched to Aemond, who was like, okay, it is nighttime and I'm going out there to steal a dragon.
Well, but I mean, like, that was definitely nighttime. I felt like the group was gathered around what was basically a funeral, you know.
Yeah,
thing.
they're at the wake.
And don't they even mention
Like
it in
Twilight.
the episode that there's, like, a storm coming?
Yeah.
They even mention it, and it's just literally everything. Like, it's daytime. It's just a very cloudy day, and it's all foreshadowing to when we finally get a little bit of clarity at nighttime, Aemon's actions, and then by the time we get to the end of the episode, it's bright colors going all around, and shit is popping off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like 25% of our time being spoken about the lighting is enough. I think we can move on to our next topic.
Okay.
So much more interesting stuff happened on the show.
All right,
than the
so
Get to the pop-off.
I would say the big thing was, before we saw Aemon, they were making fun of Aemon because he was not a dragon rider. So Aemon was like fine. What is the best way to get back at everyone for making fun of him for not being a dragon rider? He's going to go and claim the largest and the
biggest,
oldest
baddest
and the most
dragon.
fiercest dragon currently living.
I think they did a really good job. I think the show did a really good job of like condensing our emotions that we're familiar with for Game of Thrones, because if you watch our reaction for at least those of us that don't know what happens in the future plot line, we're like, you know what, I'm starting to like this kid as he's, going to Vagar and like, making essentially the emotional transaction of becoming his rider and then taking Vagar for her first flight. Like, as we were watching that, we were like, you know what? Go Aemon. Like, this is great. And then 5 seconds later, we're like, fuck this kid, hope he dies.
He's still a dick.
But he didn't feel like a dick early.
I do like what the show did was show it that it's like not every single Targaryen has their own dragon. Not everyone is a dragon rider, but that was a very good example and be like, if you want to become a dragon rider, you have to claim a dragon, and the dragon has to. It's how to train your dragon, pretty much. But like that was that was very much a good example of how like if you want a dragon, you got to be a dragon. Like and
just a little quick thing, like Rhaegar, like the big ass dragon that was claimed. Anybody else think that it looked kind of like the creatures from Stargate, like David Spade, like it's looked by?
Oh, I see.
Like,
see, to me, I thought Vagar looked like
totally, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Vagar looked like the big dragon in How to Train Your Dragon
Like,
1.
until
also,
Vagar
but-
opens her mouth, you just learn kind of like, oh, just Grandpa Dragon.
But also,
Like, one
but
step
that's
away from
how
his
old
Skeksis.
Vagar, because Vagar, she's almost like 200 years old.
Which is 200 years in human.
Yeah, and so, but then as soon as Aemon claimed Vagar, then the other kids, it all comes down to that. What's the proper word?
Kids are the worst.
Well, no, just the relationship between all of the kids, the cousins.
Yeah.
Allison's kids, Rhaenyra's kids.
It really harkened back to that moment that really set up Game of Thrones and the future of what was coming and how awful things were going to be, which was the conflict between the kids on the King's Road. Episode 2 of Game of Thrones
Arya,
set the
the
stage.
butcher's boy.
Yeah, set the stage for Joffrey v. Sansa v. Arya. For like and Lannisters versus versus Starks, like on a very personal level, not just vying for power. That fight and the killing of Lady.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm not spoiling anything, but I mean it's obvious that yes, this confrontation between these children is going to very much set up the next chain of events.
We have
something. Oh, go ahead.
We have a comment from King. Says, Aemon finna be ruthless monster next episode. We are expecting
King,
it.
are you a bit Scottish? That seems
Yeah.
like you. Or Irish, I don't know. What is it? When you talk about the cousins, the thing about the cousins, really, if you stop and think about it, it was, some of them were cousins, and some of them were aunts and uncles to the strong children, because
they are all related in some way,
it's very
shape,
complicated because I guess because it's Daemon and Viserys' children are cousins, but they're like second cousins once removed.
Well, and then also I gotta say during that, so when all of that confrontation started after Aemon's eye came out. And then they are all fighting. I gotta say, Daemon was the best because he was again doing what he does best, just standing in the back, just watching all of that drama
smirking
unfold.
to himself.
He's totally just watching
Until
it all
he
happen.
stepped in. He did finally step in to put Sir Crispy Bitch in his place. So,
he's
but so just to let you guys know, the internet has dubbed them Team Black and Team Green.
That is from the books.
Yeah.
That's-
But people are taking sides, FYI, and there are quite a few people that are on the green side. I heard somebody call him today Goto, as in GOAT, greatest of all time, but also Otto, all in one together. Apparently, people love Otto Hightower. They're loving Alicent. So let's talk a little bit about Alicent Rhaenyra conflict. And
I will say on that, it's yes, personally, I am team Rhaenyra. I love Rhaenyra, and I really want to see it. But at the same time, I want to root for Alicent because I would say the fact that she is not some selfish, conniving person. She did not spend her whole life plotting to become the queen, to have all the power. I think just right now, it's like, that poor woman is just like, I'm just trying to protect my children.
I would disagree.
Getting a little vindictive on it.
I would disagree with. I mean, I do agree that she didn't spend her whole life like playing the game or whatever. But ever since she became queen, like, people have been making the assumption, and she's been writing, and we saw it in this episode, she's been writing that idea of like, oh, I'm just trying to protect my children and make sure that Rhaenyra doesn't like murder my children in order to keep power. But in the end, when the moment comes down to it, she says it out loud. She's like, you got to do whatever you wanted, and I didn't, and that sucks. And Rhaenyra's like, oh, there you are. I see you now. Like, this whole time, it was still about jealousy and envy and selfishness.
Yeah, except for, I think in Alice's defense, and I'm now on the fence, because I was Team Green last week, and then after the episode, I thought, oh, maybe I picked the wrong team. In Alice's defense, I mean, in agreeing with Mark more than maybe you. I don't know how this works, but like when she knew when she married Viserys what position that put her and her children in, and so she did everything she could to support Rhaenyra and make Rhaenyra feel confident that she was on her side, and Rhaenyra did nothing but shit on her for like 10 years. And then just right when there was a moment of maybe she would like wipe all that shit off and they'd make up, then the children started getting the children got messy, and then it was just like,
well, also, and it didn't help that the children came out looking like, obviously, like little Strongs,
I mean,
instead of little
that's another thing. I think if Rhaenyra, and of course, granted, given their age and the time and of all what happened, if Rhaenyra hadn't lied so blatantly to Alicent, I think that was kind of the breaking point for Alicent. That, you know, she didn't tell her. I mean, because granted, she thought she was like, oh, I didn't sleep with Daemon, which was true, but she also slept
but
with
I
someone.
did go sleep with this. I went slept with Kristen. And Kristen, for fuck's sake,
Oh my God, I just
get
want that guy
over
to die.
yourself.
I just want him to die.
Really,
It was
after
horrible.
10 years, you are still
Someone-
upset about a one-night
if there's
stand?
any character,
You little
yeah.
baby girl,
Yeah.
get over it.
If there's any
Okay.
character
Girls are
I
great,
hate
so we're not
that
gonna
I
use that
supported,
term, but-
it's Kristen Cole.
Can I have
Well,
us,
I did not want to say the word pussy.
before we run out of time,
Not
I
better.
think we need to move on to Daemon, because I have a few things to say about Daemon.
Okay.
Because of what he did at the end of the episode.
Same. Go.
So, and they did it
Oh,
so
that's
well,
right.
because we figured it out before they showed it to us, but it was a surprise still.
Who
That
was that
Rhaenyra
one
went to
person on the
Daemon, and they
stairs?
made a plot for them to get married, and we thought Daemon was going to kill Laenor, and instead he set it up to fake Laenor's death so he and his new boyfriend could run
For
off
that
together.
poor guy, who was that poor guy on the stairs that they just
Uh,
randomly
Whatever.
murdered?
He was a red shirt. He was a red
Poor
shirt.
red shirt.
Just
Poor
a
red
red
shirt
shirt.
servant.
All he did was like light
Portland.
candles.
Poor guy.
But I think that really showed a side of Daemon that we weren't used to, because he's always so ruthless, and that he both cares for Rhaenyra and for Laenora. Is that what her
Yeah.
name was? Because he could have just killed her brother and said, "Yep, that's what we're gonna get." But he knew that Rhaenyra cared for
No, he's
Laenor.
Laenor, and
He
she's
actually cared
Lyra,
for
I
his
think?
wife and the mother of his
Laena.
children.
Lena, that's
Lena. And so he comes up with this plot so that everyone is hopefully getting what they want.
No, exactly.
Except for-
and I think that's something that you're building onto. Like, we've always looked at Daemon as being like this schemer kind of person. He's literally just like, I'm just out to do the best thing for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm going to take over the Kingsguard. I'm going to be ruthless and brutal because you've got this city that's going crazy against you, brother. Oh, you're going to upset me. I'm okay. Well, hey, you've got these people that are like causing this issue down in the Stepstones. I'm going to get down there. I'm going to take care of it. Oh, you don't help me. Well, I'm going to do what needs to be done. And now, in
I
this
agree
situation,
with Travis.
you know, he's
and
doing all this movement.
And I'm not saying that he probably isn't still a little bit of sadomasochist, but he has a
true.
heart.
Actually,
Shame here at
no,
the
because
night.
I feel very bad now for, I hope I'm getting her name right, Rhaenyra, because she's like, her daughter just died in childbirth. Rhaenys, sorry. Yep.
This is not our fault.
It's like, you know, her daughter just died in childbirth, and now she thinks her son was just murdered.
Yeah,
the
this is
queen
not
who
great.
never was.
No, you
she's
bring
like,
up a
yeah,
point.
my
pretty
children
rough.
are dead.
This
She's
is
about
not-
to
rough
pop
for
off.
her.
Yeah, this is not a great relationship that's being built between the Valyrians and the Targaryens, really.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the question: is which side are the Valyrians going to fall on? Are they going to Are they going to join Team Green, or are they going to make up their own team of Team Blues or whatever?
Well,
because they're from the
so
sea?
far they are on the blacks,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
For now.
For now.
now.
But
Rhaenyra
it's interesting how so much is coming out now with the relations is all about the Great Civil War. That you can really see the seeds of because Aemon and
There are.
just in case
Who's
it
the other
wasn't
Aegon?
confusing enough.
It's
One of
Rhaenyra's-
the strong boys.
Yeah, Rhaenyra's son is also Aegon.
Yeah.
And then Alicent's son is also Aegon.
Oh,
Yep.
dear.
Because thank you, George R. Martin, for
Fuck
not
yeah.
making
Wait,
it.
so it's what is it? Is it Jaquira's,
George R. R.
Aegon,
Martin in
and
the
Joffrey?
comments. You're
Yes.
welcome, Mark.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So yeah, thank
Jaehaerys,
you,
I think.
George R. for making it.
Yeah, it's
crystal
already like hard
clear.
enough.
Yeah.
I have to say personally, like in the whole like green versus black, like I'm Team Black all the way, but at the same time, I will recognize Alicent. I've loved her character development. She's doing it amazingly. She's portraying it amazingly.
I
just don't
also-
like her character.
Olivia's doing an amazing job.
Well, yeah,
she's
and also I
absolutely
love the
phenomenal.
actress. I love Olivia
Yeah.
as an actress.
I mean,
so
yeah,
that's kind
I
of one of
think-
the reasons I'm very Team Alicent, even though I
What else has she
character-wise
done?
I
I don't.
She's been in a few things.
she's done a lot of things. I mostly know her from Bates Motel.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm just
okay,
going
I
off
never
of
saw
this,
that.
like how
But
her
she
character, like
she
how she's
she
playing
has
the
done.
parts.
She's been in many other things.
I just find her character interesting because, if it turns out this way, she's becoming. There's the potential of her becoming a villain without meaning to become a villain.
I know, I love
yeah,
it.
Like
Well,
she's
see-
not playing. Like you said, she didn't seduce Viserys. She just kind of went and spent time with him and worked
Well,
out.
and
Yeah,
also
but-
that last scene that we saw of her grabbing the dagger and charging
oh
forward,
yeah, she was like.
that has been in
Mad.
the teaser trailer since the very beginning. So when that happened, that wasn't a big surprise. We're like, yes,
It
the
was for me.
dagger, the
Yeah,
dagger that started the War of Five Kings and ended the Long Night. It was just it was in all the trailers. That's why I knew it was.
Travis?
Mine's a theory. So you know how in Game of Thrones
Ooh,
there's
my
the
timer.
idea of like roll the dice whenever a Targaryen is born, mad or not mad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Alicent is the actual like the
she's not a
madness? like, the-
Targaryen.
She's not a Targaryen.
No, she's not
No,
a Targaryen, but
but-
she's given birth to Targaryens, and she's
Have
clearly had
Targaryens
that.
been mad yet?
Have Targaryens
Or
been
is
mad
she putting
yet?
the madness
Oh.
into the
Oh.
Targaryen line?
Because she literally
Because
just
like
had that
there's
flip
this
switch.
book series I
Well,
read.
people were talking about it coming from the incest specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Won't deny that, but I mean, like this is
It's
the
the same
first,
thing as the Egyptians.
like this is
but
kind of
yeah.
like the first case where we've seen like any of the Targaryens do that. Now,
Yeah.
before they came over from Essos, was that already a thing?
Yeah.
Or is this kind of like where the plant is getting
But
started?
I don't know. They didn't have the power then. They were just a noble family.
Yeah.
Curious.
You had something, and then I have one last thing before we close it out.
Oh yeah, so I was just saying, there's a book series I read years ago where they devoted a whole book to introducing a character to introduce a hot streak into the family line, and that character died at the end of the book, and his daughter went and married the people from the main family of the series, and I was like, this whole book was just to introduce this hot streak. So it's like maybe Allison, you find out that Allison is the true source of the madness. the high towers.
I like
Here's
that idea.
what I'm really looking forward to, because I've been looking forward to it all fucking season and
What are you
it still
looking
hasn't
forward to?
happened. I need Otto Hightower in the fucking game. I will be Team Green the second Otto Hightower starts fucking some shit up, because I feel like he's always quiet and restrained. He got fired.
Then he
he's
got
been
fired.
gone,
Isn't that the
like,
game? I mean, he's
no-
still puppet mastering his
No,
daughter.
he's not making big moves. He's
Okay,
not like.
Him personally.
I am ready for him to
Gotcha.
fuck some shit
He's
up.
moved some pawns
some
around.
things
She
into-
wants him to move.
Especially
knights
because
and
Reese
castles.
Ivins has
Gotcha,
like
okay.
top billing.
Otto's
too.
got to start moving the second
I'm
string
ready
around the
for
table.
him to
Gotcha.
little finger some people.
He's such a big name actor, and
Yeah.
he really has
Or is
not
he more
done
of Tywin
that much.
Lannister?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see
No,
what he does.
Tywin is like, hello, I'm the hand. I
Yeah.
rule you all.
He's like
Reese
a power
Ivins hasn't
player.
done it.
I feel
but
like
he may
Otto
become.
is
That's why he
more-
may become that. I think well, of course, who I thought was Littlefinger is now dead. But
No, that's what I'm saying.
bad Littlefinger.
I feel like Otto is more Littlefinger than he is Tywin, because he's not like, oh, I'm going to use my armies and I'm going to just bend everyone to my will with my gold and my armies.
But we haven't seen him
He's
do
being
that yet.
smart, yeah. And I'm just ready for him to fuck some shit up. Also, raise your hand if you think Viserys is going to die tonight.
I think he's
I
gonna
just
kick on
just
one more
fucking
episode.
died, Viserys.
We're
No
ready for
one
things to
cares
kick off.
anymore.
We know when
It'll
you
be
die,
interesting.
things are going to kick
I
off.
feel like it's an episode 9 death. So it'll be interesting.
No,
if
see,
it's
I
a
feel like
day
it's an
early.
episode
It's an
8
episode
death.
9 death with an
Well,
episode
because
10
think about it.
kickoff
Because
No.
think about
cliffhanger.
season 1 of Game of Thrones. Robert Baratheon died. What?
Episode 7.
Yeah.
I
something like
think that we've
But-
got. I think we're gonna get Viserys' death tonight, and whatever the immediate, massive fallout from that will be episode 9, set up for the war episode 10. And we are going to get another fucking time jump that probably Viserys has survived. We'll see how many limbs he's
will
lost.
say I am
'cause
concerned
tonight's time jump.
about
Yeah,
these
we're jumping
time
forward.
jumps because they are jumping so far ahead in time that how much is going to be left for future seasons, because we do know that a season 2 is coming.
Yeah.
But are you going to be able to do a
feel
season 3 or
I feel
4?
Like the children seem to be intimately involved, and they need to be adults. So I think they're
Yeah.
racing to get these.
The
they're-
difficult
they're-
part about
without
that-
it being a soap opera, without them just showing up. It's a year, and I've aged 5. I mean,
Yeah, but also, like, I feel like what really made us invested in these characters in Game of Thrones was watching them grow up. I'm not saying that they're going to have the ability to do that for House of the Dragon, but it does remove some of that emotional connection that you're making with the characters. Like, we watched Arya grow up from
Right.
11 to...
But because I think House of Dragon, especially given what it's based on, it's more of an epic
Yeah.
than it is. What Game of
Yeah.
Thrones was about that one
Specific thing.
specific
yeah, war
thing,
and conflict.
and where this is more like a Greek epic, or the Odyssey. So,
All right. Well, I think that takes us to the end tonight. Let's hope Viserys fucking dies. Let's hope we see some
Just
awesome
He's
the
gonna
dragons.
go to
war.
9.
The
He's gonna
war
go to
cannot
9.
start until you die.
Actually,
That's-
let us know what you think in the comments. Is he going to die tonight, or is he going to die in 9?
And
Well-
we'll see you at 9:10 tonight after the episode airs. We
They're
will
about
be
to watch the
watching
episode in
it.
5 minutes.
With
I mean,
our
we can still see it in
first-
post.
We're about to watch it for the first time after you guys watch it. So come back, join us, see our first time reaction, talk with us in the chat. We'll be monitoring it.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, please. Take us out, Andrew. Also, subscribe, notifications bell.
we are the Knights of Dark Watch.
And now our talk has ended.
I almost said it would begin again. Oh, I guess
See
not.
you in an hour and 50 minutes.
We can keep going.
All right, cool. Oh, there we go.
Time to eat.